4, sur les conseils avisés de Robert Lynx, que l'industriel Jean-Noël Bongrain acquiert la maison proche de la faillite et scelle son destin. Son esprit visionnaire en fait une référence auprès des plus grands chefs. Valrhona, sans accent cette fois, part à la conquête du grand public. L'étendard régional devient international. En 2013, Valrhona ouvre la Cité du Chocolat. Ces 2000 m² accolés à la chocolaterie historique proposent une expérience sensorielle unique pour faire découvrir au public tout l'univers du chocolat. Des plantations de cacao aux créations des plus grands chefs. Plus de 140 000 visiteurs s'y pressent chaque année. Aujourd'hui, demain et pour les 100 prochaines années, Valrhona fera rayonner la vallée du Rhône et le chocolat. « 1922, il y a 100 ans, dans cette vallée traversée par le Rhône, où la gastronomie et les vins français s'épanouissent, naissait Valrhona. Albéric Guironnet, fils de pâtissier installé à Tain-l'Hermitage, achète une ancienne menuiserie qu'il transforme en manufacture de chocolat. La chocolaterie du Vivarais voit le jour. Il torréfie lui-même les fèves de cacao qu'il importe alors d'Afrique, voyage régulièrement à l'étranger vanter les mérites de ses chocolats et de sa région. Bientôt, toute l'Europe et les pays du Maghreb succombent à ses créations. Le fondateur de Valrhona est visionnaire. Pour faire la promotion de ses chocolats, Albéric Guironnet ouvre en 1930 le cabaret du Vivarais. Situé en face de la chocolaterie, ce lieu de restauration et de fête attire les gens de passage. Routiers, touristes et artistes de l'époque. L'adresse obtiendra même une étoile au guide Michelin. En 2020, le lieu mythique renaît. En son sein, l'explorateur pâtissier Frédéric Beau fait de nouveau rêver les clients. Toujours ancrée dans sa région, la maison change de nom. À la disparition du fondateur en 1947, l'entrepreneur Albert Gonnet reprend la chocolaterie et la renomme alors Valrhona, avec un accent, comme la vallée du Rhône qu'il aimait tant. Renommée au gré des repreneurs, c'est en 1984, sur les conseils avisés de Robert Lynx, que l'industriel Jean-Noël Bongrain acquiert la maison proche de la faillite et scelle son destin. Son esprit visionnaire en fait une référence auprès des plus grands chefs. Valrhona, sans accent cette fois, part à la conquête du grand public. L'étendard régional devient international. En 2013, Valrhona ouvre la Cité du Chocolat. Ces 2000 m² accolés à la chocolaterie historique proposent une expérience sensorielle unique pour faire découvrir au public tout l'univers du chocolat. Des plantations de cacao aux créations des plus grands chefs. Plus de 140 000 visiteurs s'y pressent chaque année. Aujourd'hui, demain et pour les 100 prochaines années, Valrhona fera rayonner la vallée du Rhône et le chocolat. « 1922, il y a 100 ans, dans cette vallée traversée par le Rhône, où la gastronomie et les vins français s'épanouissent, naissait Valrhona. Albéric Guironnet, fils de pâtissier installé à Tain-l'Hermitage, achète une ancienne menuiserie qu'il transforme en manufacture de chocolat. La chocolaterie du Vivarais voit le jour. Il torréfie lui-même les fèves de cacao qu'il importe alors d'Afrique, voyage régulièrement à l'étranger vanter les mérites de ses chocolats et de sa région. Bientôt, toute l'Europe et les pays du Maghreb succombent à ses créations. Le fondateur de Valrhona est visionnaire. Pour faire la promotion de ses chocolats, Albéric Guironnet ouvre en 1930 le cabaret du Vivarais. Situé en face de la chocolaterie, ce lieu de restauration et de fête attire les gens de passage. Routiers, touristes et artistes de l'époque. L'adresse obtiendra même une étoile au guide Michelin. En 2020, le lieu mythique renaît. En son sein, l'explorateur pâtissier Frédéric Beau fait de nouveau rêver les clients. Toujours ancrée dans sa région, la maison change de nom. À la disparition du fondateur en 1947, l'entrepreneur Albert Gonnet reprend la chocolaterie et la renomme alors Valrhona, avec un accent, comme la vallée du Rhône qu'il aimait tant. Renommée au gré des repreneurs, c'est en 1984, sur les conseils avisés de Robert Lynx, que l'industriel Jean-Noël Bongrain acquiert la maison proche de la faillite et scelle son destin. « 1922, il y a 100 ans, dans cette vallée traversée par le Rhône, où la gastronomie et les vins français s'épanouissent, naissait Valrhona. Albéric Guironnet, fils de pâtissier installé à Tain-l'Hermitage, achète une ancienne menuiserie qu'il transforme en manufacture de chocolat. La chocolaterie du Vivarais voit le jour. Il torréfie lui-même les fèves de cacao qu'il importe alors d'Afrique, voyage régulièrement à l'étranger vanter les mérites de ses chocolats et de sa région. Bientôt, toute l'Europe et les pays du Maghreb succombent à ses créations. Le fondateur de Valrhona est visionnaire. Pour faire la promotion de ses chocolats, Albéric Guironnet ouvre en 1930 le cabaret du Vivarais. Situé en face de la chocolaterie, ce lieu de restauration et de fête attire les gens de passage, routiers, touristes et artistes de l'époque. L'adresse obtiendra même une étoile au guide Michelin. En 2020, le lieu mythique renaît. En son sein, l'explorateur pâtissier Frédéric Beau fait de nouveau rêver les clients. Toujours ancrée dans sa région, la maison change de nom. À la disparition du fondateur en 1947, l'entrepreneur Albert Gonnet reprend la chocolaterie et la renomme alors Valrhona, avec un accent, comme la vallée du Rhône qu'il aimait tant. Renommée au gré des repreneurs, c'est en 1984, sur les conseils avisés de Robert Lynx, que l'industriel Jean-Noël Bongrain acquiert la maison proche de la faillite et scelle son destin. Son esprit visionnaire en fait une référence auprès des plus grands chefs. Valrhona, sans accent cette fois, part à la conquête du grand public. L'étendard régional devient international. En 2013, Valrhona ouvre la Cité du Chocolat. Ces 2000 m² accolés à la chocolaterie historique proposent une expérience sensorielle unique pour faire découvrir au public tout l'univers du chocolat. Des plantations de cacao aux créations des plus grands chefs. Plus de 140
Hello. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay dah. Okay, hi everyone. Morning. Hi, morning. Baru dah dengar. Okay, dah makan dessert kat luar, minum kopi dah? Sama-sama. Okay, so today our first food tap for this year. So kita punya brand adalah Valrhona. Kita pun tak ada Valrhona, you guys boleh nampak kat luar Valrhona. So this is Chef Arif from Valrhona. So dia akan buat demo live. Berapa sepi hari ni, Chef?
Satu for the morning, tapi if we have time then we're gonna do another one.
So kita ada dua ni lah, morning and the
afternoon also I have, but for the morning I have one. Not one recipe, I have two recipes, but it's one thing lah.
Okay. So guys, harap korang enjoy. So any question you boleh terus tanya Chef. So kita boleh start dah ke? Kita dah boleh start ke? Are you ready? Lagi satu saya nak tanya, semua dah scan resepi? Okay, so kita boleh start lah Chef. Sorry guys, mana yang first time datang, my name is Yana, okay? My name is Yana, okay? Ya, tu.
You want?
Welcome, suka dessert.
Okay. Everybody have a seat. Okay, can. I can start the video.
Okay, we can start.
Video can start. Yeah. Okay, everyone, before I begin, we're gonna watch a small video about the company, just a small one, 2 minutes, and then we can start.
« 1922, il y a 100 ans, dans cette vallée traversée par le Rhône, où la gastronomie et les vins français s'épanouissent, naissait Valrhona. Albéric Guironnet, fils de pâtissier installé à Tain-l'Hermitage, achète une ancienne menuiserie qu'il transforme en manufacture de chocolat. La chocolaterie du Vivarais voit le jour. Il torréfie lui-même les fèves de cacao qu'il importe alors d'Afrique, voyage régulièrement à l'étranger vanter les mérites de ses chocolats et de sa région. Bientôt, toute l'Europe et les pays du Maghreb succombent à ses créations. Le fondateur de Valrhona est visionnaire. Pour faire la promotion de ses chocolats, Albéric Guironnet ouvre en 1930 le cabaret du Vivarais. Situé en face de la chocolaterie, ce lieu de restauration et de fête attire les gens de passage, routiers, touristes et artistes de l'époque. L'adresse obtiendra même une étoile au guide Michelin. En 2020, le lieu mythique renaît. En son sein, l'explorateur pâtissier Frédéric Beau fait de nouveau rêver les clients. Toujours ancrée dans sa région, la maison change de nom. À la disparition du fondateur en 1947, l'entrepreneur Albert Gonnet reprend la chocolaterie et la renomme alors Valrhona, avec un accent, comme la vallée du Rhône qu'il aimait tant. Renommé au gré des repreneurs, c'est en 1984, sur les conseils avisés de Robert Lynx, que l'industriel Jean-Noël Bongrain acquiert la maison proche de la faillite et scelle son destin. Son esprit visionnaire en fait une référence auprès des plus grands chefs. Valrhona, sans accent cette fois, part à la conquête du grand public. L'étendard régional devient international. En 2013, Valrhona ouvre la Cité du Chocolat. Ces 2000 m² accolés à la chocolaterie historique proposent une expérience sensorielle unique pour faire découvrir au public tout l'univers du chocolat. Des plantations de cacao aux créations des plus grands chefs. Plus de 140 000 visiteurs s'y pressent chaque année. Aujourd'hui, demain et pour les 100 prochaines années, Valrhona fera rayonner la vallée du Rhône et le chocolat.
Okay, that was a very interesting video. Okay, for the ones that don't know me, my name is Arif. I represent Valrhona. I am the Southeast Asian representative. I can also conduct the class in Malay if you don't understand certain terms that I'm giving. But most of the time, I will be switching from one language to the other. If there is any question whatsoever, you can just raise your hand and I will address them. If you have a call to take or something, you can excuse yourself. It's no problem. But what I want to encourage in my demonstrations are questions, because this is the only opportunity that you have to engage with me at the current moment. So at any point you have any questions at all, you can just stop it, raise your hand, and I will answer them. I don't like to do a demonstration where I just talk, you sit, watch, and then you go back. So I don't subscribe to this. I subscribe to a more interactive demonstration, because this is a time where I'm actually doing something, so we can be engaged all at the same page. All right. If there is any need for clarification of what I just did, again, just raise your hand and say, can you repeat that please? Or for the ones who are at the back, can't hear me, same thing, just ask me what's up. Before I begin, I want to talk a bit about our brand. So for some of you, you are aware of the brand Valrhona, I'm sure. Some are already users, some are not users, but interested or at least a bit curious about what we are all about. Okay, so in the beginning, I have to tell you, like you saw in the video, we are a French brand. We are from France. What makes us a bit different from the rest is that all of our manufacturing comes from France. So some of our competitive brands or whatever that you have downstairs, some have regional manufacturers. So we don't have that. So everything is manufactured in France. So because of that as well, logistics issues and things like that, we are a bit more on the pricey side. Yeah, but just a side note on the pricey side of cocoa, so everybody else can be in the same page, especially to some of you who are business people. Everybody is asking, oh, why is it so expensive? Why is it so expensive? Certain customers that I face will have this issue, not just with our products, but chocolate products in general. We are having a global shortage of chocolate in the world at the moment. Why? There is a few reasons. Number one, the reason is because of there's epidemic of sickness of the plants. So one of our biggest cocoa producers, not just us, but other brands as well, is in Ivory Coast, in West Africa as well. So there is a sickness of the tree. So because of that, the yield is not high, and because of that, the harvest is not a lot, and the farmers are being very conservative. They will decide, you know what, I'd rather plant rubber than I plant chocolate. So because of that, as you all know, demand and supply. Less demand, more supply, prices go up. That's one of the reasons. Number two, the reason is because, of course, we are having a couple of conflicts ongoing at the moment. So one of the bigger one is the Ukraine-Russia conflict. So how that affects us is that they supply electricity to Europe. The Russians actually supply power to Europe. So because of that, certain countries decided not to take their power. So because of that, they have to sort out their power from somewhere else. So electricity bill goes up, everything else goes up as well. It's one of the reasons. And because of conflict as well, we also have the logistical issue. So the ships that's supposed to go through the Red Sea now has to take a big detour. Because of that, the prices go up, and also because of that, the orders become late. So like sometimes, especially for even people like our distributors and our even Hoi themselves, they are sometimes faced with the problem of no stock, especially for the ones who are purchasing a big amount. So you go like, oh, I want to have this, no stock. It's not because they don't want to have stock. If I'm not mistaken, from our side, all of the orders are smooth. It's just the matter of logistics. When is it going to come? It's a bit uncertain at the moment. So these are one of the few reasons why the prices of chocolate is a bit high. So for those of you who are in business, please take note lah. So this is, I wouldn't say it's an excuse to your customers, I wouldn't say that. But I would say if they are a bit more educated in the matter and they are genuinely concerned about why the prices are going up, these are a couple of factors. But there's also, because it's a commodity, there's a lot of trading involved. There's also speculation. The speculators raise the price, you know. And for our brand in particular, we are a very small player. We only take about 1.5 or 4% of the total cocoa market in the whole world, right? So we don't have a lot of say in pricing, you know. And because we are small, actually, it gives us also the advantage of selecting our products. So, okay, so for those of you who don't know, when you talk about chocolate, for the bigger companies, they buy in bulk. So they will buy from corporations, cocoa cooperative, sorry. So you go to a country, you buy from a cooperative. The cooperative will be the one that sources out where we're going to get the chocolates from, where we're going to get the cocoa from, and then they buy in general, in bulk. But for Valrhona, what we do is we work closely with the farmers. So we have about 15,000 suppliers. Means we work closely with the farmers direct. So we buy them at a fairer price for them. So it gives them incentive for them to actually grow their businesses and their farms. So in that sense, we are a bit more sustainable as well. We take this is a very big initiative from our part. So if you look at our bags, there will be a certification that says certified Corporation. So means we actually are very, very concerned about when you talk about B Corporation certification. B Corp certification means it's sustainable in the sense of logistics, it's sustainable in the sense of sourcing, it's sustainable in the sense of human factors as well. Because as you all know, there is a problem whenever it comes to child labor as well. But this is a very complex issue because if I'm a farmer, I have a son, and he works on the farm with me. If he's not of certain age, technically that's child labor, but he's just helping me. So there's a lot of that ongoing. So that's a bit more complex in the matter. But we care, so we also build a lot of, we do a lot of help with them by building a lot of schools, improving their life, by providing infrastructure that would help educate their children as well. So in that sense, we invest a lot in people. So we are a company that actually cares. Not just on paper, but we actually do. So when we source out our cocoa, what makes us special, because we are small, we have a sourcing team that goes to all of these farms and to make sure that we get the best available. So that's done. So let's talk about chocolate. So what makes us different? Number one, like I told you, we are a smaller production company compared to bigger corporations. So it means we can, because of that, we can actually source out individually where we get things out. That's one. Number two, okay, not that a lot of people realize, but if I may ask a random question, you see that in these chocolate bags, there's always like 70%, 64%, 55%, especially for the couverture range. You see this. We are the company that started that actually. So before this, before 1984 actually, chocolate, which is dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate. Now we have the percentage. Why? Does anybody know why? No? Yes? No? More percentage means better? Yes? No? More percentage, better? Darker? Okay. Conservative answer. More percentage means better? You? No? Yes? No? Bitter? Oh. Anyone else? More percentage, better? More chocolate. Okay. All right. Another conservative answer, but let's just go directly lah. Okay, so the percentage means when you look in the back, how much cocoa product is inside. This, that's all. Okay. So if I may, can you zoom here, please? Is it here? Can you zoom to there? Just zoom, yeah. All right. So when we talk about chocolate, let's talk about dark chocolate lah. Can you see? Okay. So dark chocolate. So we have like this, right? Can see? Okay, cool. So when it says 70%, that means 70%, right? What's the 30%? Milk and sugar. Close. It's sugar. That's what it means. This is sugar. Well, not exactly 30%. It could be 29%, 1% lecithin, 0.5% vanilla, depending on the range of chocolate lah. So the 70% means that 70% of this is divided into two things. Number one is called cocoa mess. The other one is called cocoa butter. That's what it is. This thing gives the brown color and the chocolate flavor. This thing sets it. Gives the chocolate texture. At room temperature, it's hard. That's all. So why this is important actually, it determines number one, yes, is it sweet or not sweet, of course. Number two, Number two, it determines what's the setting. Is it going to set hard? Okay. Is it going to set hard or not? Depends on that. It's how fast is it going to set? You know. But when you talk about quality, this is where I will go more. So when you talk about the quality of chocolate, you have to understand it doesn't come from this. Okay? It doesn't come from this actually. What it comes from is a few factors. Number one, let's talk into perspective like fruits. What differ? Okay. When you talk about fruits, the easiest example I like to give is durian. It's easy to understand. Personally, I don't consume. Too strong for me. But okay, so when you talk about durian, it's pretty simple. Because it's one of Malaysia's favorite fruit, and then when you eat durian, we are a bit of a connoisseur on it. When you go to shop, there's like all kinds. Udak merah, blackthorn, D24, durian kampung, musang king, you know, like all this. Is it the same? Of course it's not. What makes it different? A lot of things. Number one, the genes. You know, it's not the same type of gene of the durian. Number two, how it's planted. You know, is the trees getting care? Number four, that year, does it have a good rain? You know, the soil, kemarau ke, hujan lebat ke? It's all this. So every harvest is different. So, you know, and then in the end, how many trees you plant there, how many fruit you get from the tree. So these are all factors that contributes to the flavor of the cocoa itself. It's the same thing. When you talk about chocolate, it's the same thing. It comes from the cocoa, right? Did the tree fall sick? How many cocoa pods in one tree? And when you talk about that, we are experts in fermentation as well. So what we do is does anybody know how you get chocolate actually, the cocoa? No? There's actually 10 steps, simple one. I'll go very quickly. First you plant the tree. Next you harvest the tree, the fruit. Then you hit the fruit, it opens. Inside there is like mangosteen a bit. It's very sticky, white. That thing, you take it out and then you ferment it. Depends on the farm and depends on different part of the world. They do it differently. Some people, they put it in the box. Some people, they cover it with banana leaf and then they let it ferment. So fermentation, different people have different styles. We also have certain products that's called double fermentation. I will explain later if we have time. So after you ferment it, you dry it. After you dry it, you pack it up and then you send it to France, where we are lah. So the first initial steps is very important when you talk about quality already. After that, you roast them. After you roast, then you make them into this thing called cocoa nibs. So what I'm going to do, I like to be a bit more interactive. I'm going to pass it around. So some of you can just try, please. So when you get the cocoa nibs, then you add the sugar, and then you make the chocolate lah. Okay? So all this will determine the factors of the quality of your chocolate. Whatever that you have in your mouth right now is 100% the product before it is turned into chocolate. It's a bit more special. And my products out there, personally, there's 5 things that I made. The one that has a stick around it. So anybody tried that? The one with the stick? The cube, yes. Sedap kan? Hey, thank you. So the cocoa nibs around it gives you the crunch, and there's a bit of acidity involved, right? I don't like to really romanticize about my own product because masuk bakul angkat sendiri, but I actually quite like it. You know, I like the texture. So for some of you who have businesses, it's very important that you change the perspective lah. You know, you don't necessarily need to put like just chocolate decoration. You can put cocoa nibs. Cocoa nibs is nice. It gives a nice texture. I don't know. I mean, like I said, again, each to their own. But when you try it, you will see. So from there, when you roast and you turn into chocolate, that's where we get what it is. So in our range, we have a lot. And so does our competitors. But what we do is we differentiate them in a few ways. Number one, we will say something like Grand Cru Single Origin, Grand Cru Blend, innovative creations, so all that. So like this one, the cube is actually this one, Guanaha. This is the OG of chocolates for us. So this is the product that set us apart. It's a blend. So if you look at the bag, it says, no, they didn't say a blend, but it's a blend. Alright, means it comes from one area, like the Caribbean or the Southwest Africa, all that, and then we blend it lah. Alright. So please try the cocoa nibs. Try it. That's actually chocolate before you add sugar lah. That's your 100%. Okay. So I personally like it because it's a playful take, and it's actually quite healthy. There's no sugar involved. So we do sell it downstairs, right? We do sell it. We sell the cocoa nibs downstairs. Yes, we do. Yes, I bought it. They have in 70 gram and a bigger one. So my advice is, if you want to use it, roast it a bit. It doesn't take long. You just put it on a tray, and then you just put it in the oven about 160 degrees, about 3 to 4 minutes. It will come back to its original shine. If you leave it for a while, it'll become white. But like you saw just now, it was dark, right? So you just there, boom. You can use it for so many things. If you want to be healthy, you can put it on your, yes? I would put any kind of nuts. For me personally, I would roast them at 160 degrees. Okay, for the cocoa nibs, you don't need to roast them very long. So just about 2 to 3 minutes is fine, depending. Because when I say there's a fluctuation, because when you say roast, oven, what? There's a fan oven, there's a deck oven, now what? So I'm like, I don't know, you see. You know, because this is a small fan oven, the temperature goes up very quickly. Very deck oven, the temperature is slow, but it's longer. I don't know, depends on you, you know. But as long as the color turns, it's fine. It should last you a couple of days and before it turns white again. But it doesn't mean that it turned bad. Okay? You can use that also for decoration. Some of your businesses, I know you like to put pearls. Some of the business, I know you do the chocolate dessert in a cup. Some of the dessert you do like a cake, like what I did. You can just put it around. It gives a nice crunchy texture that complements it. So I'm a big proponent of making desserts which actually make sense. What I mean is everything has to complement each other. This I need to put across because it's being played out badly, unfortunately. Why? Let's just put into perspective. Certain things just does not make sense. All right, so like if you have something like a dark chocolate, example, right? You have a dark chocolate. Would I put it with something that is very mild, like a peach, for example? The answer is no. It doesn't make sense, you know. So I want to have something that balances out. So this is very important. How do we find this balance? Well, for our products, if you go online, it's a downloadable book called Essentials. So we actually have this book called The Essentials. Shows us about how to do the product and what to use it with, what to pair it with. If you're having problems finding that, you can mail Hoy or you can talk to me afterwards. I can definitely provide you with the information. I want to make sure everybody knows us that way. Okay, so that's it. That's it about the chocolate itself, the guanaha. But for some of you are not attending the afternoon one, right? You're just attending the morning ones. So the morning one, I'm using this one, azalea. But I will explain this more when I do the demo. Before that, I'm going to explain two things that actually I don't use right now. So if you leave later, you will know about it. Okay, so the first thing I want to explain to you is the inspiration range. As you can see over here. Okay, inspiration range. What dessert use the inspiration range? From my side is the afternoon one, is the cloud. But for them, what do you use it? There you go. What is an inspiration range? Okay, this one, actually there's a lot of misconception about the product. So I would like to address them today. What is an inspiration range? Okay, so actually, this is very useful. Okay, so when you talk about chocolate, again, to talk about inspiration range, right? When you talk about dark chocolate, so say it's the dark chocolate just now, say like this is 55% dark lah. So 100 minus 55 is what? Yes, so it's 45% sugar. All right, so this is dark. Example lah. All right. So when you talk about milk chocolate, actually, where's the? Oh, there we go. So when you talk about milk chocolate, it's altogether. When you talk about it, it's say you have the one just now here, 35%, right? So 35% means this one. It's actually the cocoa, all right? And then what's the rest? Which is 65? 65%? Yes. So 65% of the product it's actually sugar. For this particular one, we have hazelnuts lah. But to explain it to you, actually sugar and milk powder lah. Okay, that's what makes milk chocolate. Cocoa, sugar, milk powder, three things. All right. So when you talk about white chocolate, Like for example, we have the opalis, 33%. That looks like 3, right? Okay, so what's the other 65%? Yes, thank you. I was testing you and you passed. Okay, so 67% similar things, just that this 33% does not have any cocoa mass at all. It just has cocoa butter. So that means cocoa butter, sugar, and milk powder. Sahaja. That's what makes it white. If you have the cocoa mass, it becomes dark. Why I have to explain all this first is because I want to explain this one. This one is actually similar to this, but there's no milk powder at all. Tak ada. It's cocoa butter, sugar, and we have what we call fruit powder. Later in a short while, some of the Hoi people are going to give you to try. So we have fruit powder. What on earth is a fruit powder? So a fruit powder is a fruit powder that we get from fruit. Thank you. How do we get it from fruit? Actually, does anybody know the process of lyophilization? Freeze dry? Okay. Yes. Sorry, I had to be a bit fancy, you know, to make me a bit more educated. So, so we have a sister company called Sosa. Sosa, they produce a lot of molecular things, sort of. But don't get intimidated if you have questions about that. I'm glad to answer them as well, because I'll be using some Sosa products when I do this. So Sosa produces a lot of things, but one of the major things that they produce is the freeze-dried stuff, freeze-dried fruit. So we make the freeze-dried powder. Why? Because there's no warming up involved. So we keep the taste of the fruit at its purest form. So when we add that to the sugar and the cocoa butter, we get this. So there's no artificial color at all. Alright, so this is fruit powder at its original form. So you will see the difference between the strawberry one, the raspberry one, the yuzu one. That's what they sell here. But we also have passion fruit, right? Yes, we have passion fruit. And we also have almond. Yes, we have almond as well. But over here in Hoi, we sell the three. We have the strawberry, raspberry, and yuzu. I used for the financier, if you tried it, that's the yuzu one. Yes, I like it too. Did you try? Did you try? Did you try? Yes. So I like yuzu. Yuzu is a very interesting taste. Why? Because it's a citrus from Japan. And it's a very elegant touch to it. It's not like lemon. I know this one is a bit diverting, but let's just put it this way. When you have a foreign friend visiting Malaysia, the fruit that you want them to taste is again. Okay. Correct. I will go with mangosteen. Why? Because it's a very elegant fruit to deal with in the very beginning. It's not very empowering, it's not strong, and it's nice and sweet, and it's different. It's not lemon, it's not, so I'll go with mangosteen. So yuzu is like that lah. It's very elegant. It's very nice. Okay, so that's done. So you understand this product. So now we're gonna actually start the demonstration. All right. So, oh sorry. Before I start, you can stand by the stuff. So the next thing we have that I want to talk about that we don't have on my demonstration is this one, Hukambi. This is actually one of my personal favorites. Why? Because it's a milk chocolate, but it's 53%. So we go back to the one we talked about just now, right? Percentage. What? So 53% cocoa product means it's a darker version of a milk chocolate. Who does this cater for? Well, the main misconception whenever you talked about milk chocolate is that it's too, yes, we always get this. Oh, I like milk chocolate, it's too sweet. It's too sweet. Too sweet, cannot eat a lot. But Hukambi is not too sweet. It's actually, it gives you the milk chocolate taste, but it's also not super empoweringly sweet. So that gives you the nice balance to it. So that's why it's actually an ombre range. It's like dark milk. Okay? So if you have time later, please try. This is actually my favorite, personal favorite, but I like everything. Okay? Alright, so let us begin. So what am I going to do? I am making the azalea sablé. What is azalea? This one. Also, someone told me it's a flower. Also, if you go to Bandar Sri Damansara, there's an apartment building called Azalea also. Really, really, really. It's just nearby. So, what is this? It's actually a 50%, 53% chocolate, milk chocolate. Sorry, 35% milk chocolate, but it also has hazelnut hints. Okay? So, because some people will go, why don't I just get a Janduja, which is a hazelnut chocolate? Anyway, well, number one, it's totally different in amount of hazelnut inside. Number two, this is just hints. Not like you eat extremely hazelnut. No. What product? If you did the QR thing, that's the biscuit lah. Did you try? No? Did you try the biscuit? Okay? Yes? No? Maybe? Not really? Yes. Thank you. You're very nice. There was a very reluctant pause, but okay. All right. So let's talk about the product. What am I using? Well, if you look at the recipe, I have butter, sugar. I have two kinds. I have the white sugar, and I also have the raw sugar in the recipe. Or if you don't have raw sugar, you can use demerara, muscovado, brown, whichever lah. Personally, I like raw sugar. Why? Because the taste is very original. Means, okay, so for those of you who don't know, in the sugar production of the world, actually, they will take everything, they turn it white first, and then they will add molasses to turn it brown. So that's not raw. And because of that, a lot of people will tell me, oh, brown sugar is healthier. The answer is no lah. If you buy the commercially produced one, no, definitely not. So raw sugar, what they do is they don't bleach it straight. So after they extract the liquid, from the bagas, that's the name I think, and then you turn it into sugar that you don't bleach, you don't turn it into white. That's why the price is a bit more expensive. You don't get more yield, but the taste is nice. Personally, I like it. Okay, so you have muscovado sugar, white sugar, butter, plain flour, salt, and baking soda, and that's all. All right, we sell everything downstairs. Okay, you can get them. As far as butter is concerned, they have so many varieties. Okay, over here we're using, Tiger, what are we using? What brand? Evermore butter. Evermore you should buy. Okay, all right. So, okay, so this thing is very simple. We also have sea salt. I like sea salt. Why? Because it's not so salty. Does that make sense? It's not so salty. It's salty, but it's not so salty. Because iodized salt is very salty lah. You know, and downstairs we do sell all kinds of salt. We sell the French one, Himalayan one, what else? Maldon sea salt. Whichever. I don't sell salt, so you can buy whatever salt you want lah. All right, so we have all that. Very easy. And then we have cubes of azalea. Azalea cube. Okay. If you look at the recipe, if you have there, it says, in the mix symbol, using paddle, mix all ingredients, cut the azalea into chunks, roll into 2 sheets between 2 paper, 1.5. Okay. So, dry. Can I have a spoon? Okay, yes, thank you. Sorry. Oh, before I forget, everybody, this is Chef Tiger. Yes, he works for Hoy. It's a nice jacket there. So we work closely for this project. So if you have any questions at all, also you can approach him. He's a very informative man, so you can ask him. He will definitely answer you. So we have the butter. Then you're gonna ask, do we need softened butter, cube butter? Doesn't really matter. For me, for production, I prefer cube butter lah. Why? Because in the rubbing process, it coats. The flour will coat all parts of the fat, so it's a bit more pliable. That's all, and it doesn't leak out in oil. So cut them into cubes. So everything inside here first. Am I going fast? It's clear, right? It's pretty clear, right? I need reassurance, so do tell me, yes? Okay, so I mix it together. You can have a look, see. Thank you. Oh, before I forget, vanilla. Is it very necessary? Depends on you. I like to put some vanilla, and if you want to make this, right, and you say I want to make a dark chocolate version, can also. Just take 10% of the flour, change it to cocoa powder. Or you can work on that 10, 15, 20, 25. I wouldn't go 30%. All right, cocoa powder we do sell. It's Valrhona brand. You can get it in big box. Or you can get it repacked. They have it in Hoi. So I'm just going to dump some vanilla here. And then I'm going to continue. Why do I like to make this particular sablé? Why? Because it's very versatile. Why does it mean versatile? If you don't bake it too much, it can become your soft cookie. Bake it all the way, becomes hard. I wanted a hard one because I'm making a small one. Just a small indicator for everybody else. The bigger your cookie, the more chewy it should be. If you have like this size of a cookie and it's crispy, what's going to happen is it'll just break apart when you eat it. So for your customers won't appreciate this because a big cookie usually you want to share. Right? So, no, small, crispy, big, soft. Okay. Okay, so cookies are now very, very popular. There are a couple of businesses that are actually selling this. One of the more famous ones, I think, is they are quite famous. Suka Dessert. They also have what's that thing? All About Chew. Yes, All About Me. All About Chew is quite famous. The big cookies. And the one that you can get all the time is Subway, also very famous. So cookies. Yeah, I just said it. Suka Dessert, yes. They sell all kinds of stuff. It's very interesting too. You should check them out on social media. They like to do very interesting videos. So, as I'm mixing, so there's also, can you see the mixer? Can they see the mixer? They can? Oh, cool. So now you can see it starts to turn into like crumbs, right? And after it's going to become bigger lumps. When that happens, stop, combine, done. If you have chunks, you add it now. But please bear in mind when you use chocolate chunks, right? Especially if you're using milk chocolate, don't leave it outside. It's going to become soft, and when it goes here, it's going to smear, and then it's not going to achieve what you're trying to achieve from the beginning. All right? So I don't usually mix it long time. What for? All right. And then as I go here, I get it. It's done. For me, personally, if you're doing just a small batch like me, you can just crush it by hand after. But I'll combine them together first, nicely. And then I will try to make it into like a big piece of dough. And before anything, this one doesn't have any eggs, yeah? So it's okay. Can it be turned into cookie dough chunks? I don't advise too much. You know, like the people like to eat the raw cookie dough. Why I don't advise too much? Because it has baking soda and that's not very pleasant to the mouth. But hey, each to their own, yeah? So I get everything here, becomes a dough, like that. And for me, personally, I'll just like, you know, we have the term, it's called sablage. Oh, it's very French, I know. I know, French brand. Okay, so you submerge it, so everything is together. So as you can see now, it becomes a dough. Easy, you know. How long can the dough last? Big question for production. Once you make, you do whatever shape you want, put inside the freezer, lama boleh tahan. Freezer, definitely long time. But also, at the same time, some businesses pride on being bake fresh, right? Okay. So when you talk about baking fresh, there's a caveat to this. Means you baked it fresh. Doesn't mean the dough has to be fresh. So there you go. All right. You just baked it fresh. If you go to your famous Amos and all that, yes, it's baked fresh, but the dough is not fresh. Okay. So what can we do with this? Many things we can do. If you have a limited space, you want to bake. What you can do is you can roll it into logs, wrap them, freeze. Done. What you need? Cut, bake. One way. If you want to be fancy, like me, which I can be, because I'm a French brand, submerge. Okay. So I put it on top, right? For those of you who have dough sheeters, I would sheet them to about 12 millimeters or 8, depending on the size you need. Millimeters, yeah? Okay. Right. Not centimeters, huh? 8 centimeters is like that. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna quickly wash my hand and rolling pin. Just so efficient, this guy. All right. So I have a rolling pin. I'm gonna roll them. Then you're gonna say, okay, just a quick advice for those of you who don't do this a lot. You wanna make sure that your dough is as square as possible. How? Easy. So first, you make a rough square shape. Second, this is what I always teach people, especially if they wanna roll tart dough and all that lah. Very easy. Take your rolling pin, mark in the center like that. Then you go 1, 2, 3. Then you turn around. Same thing. Then you turn this way in the center again. And then you turn around. See, it just stays a square. So you go this do the same thing. And then you turn around. And when you want to roll out, especially for those who don't roll a lot of doughs, I don't advise doing this. Why? Because you can't manage your weight. They will go like. But for those who do it a lot, it's fine. I'm not against it. For those who don't do it, what I always advocate is from the center, just move to you. Like that. Then you turn around, move to you. Because you can manage coming back, you can't manage going forward. So you just go. See? Easy. So it's a nice square. If you have a dough sheeter, run it through a dough sheeter, no problem. So when we get this, usually I will put it into the fridge. Thank you, Tiger. All right. So, any questions about making the dough? Yes, yes, no, yes, no. Going, yes. Thank you. Yeah. That's a very educated question. Piping the cookies like a spritz. Okay, that's the English name. You can pipe the dough if the dough is soft, and this is only possible for things like sablé viennoise or spritz or samprit. I said samprit. You guys are making this up. All right, so it's only possible for that. That will only happen when you cream the dough, like macam butter, icing sugar, cream, eggs, and then flour combine. That can pipe, yes. This one, not so much. Why? Even though the dough is soft, it has chunks. so it won't be nice. So what I would always advocate is just cut. For me, I use a mold, which they sell here in Hoi. They sell all kinds of mold, but I will explain it later. What I want to do now is I'm going to explain the second important element in this, which is the ganache. This is a very interesting topic. What is the ganache? Does anybody know? Excuse me, sir, what is a ganache? Please. It's chocolate and cream. Ganache is a chocolate and cream. Ganache is a state of mind. Ganache is what I want it to be. Technically, that's true. Ganache actually is an emulsion between chocolate and whatever liquid you want. It can be, generally, it's chocolate and cream. It can be chocolate and puree. It can be chocolate and water. It can be chocolate and milk. It can be chocolate with puree and alcohol. If you're a bit on the naughty side, you can do that. So it can be all kinds of things, right? So it's an emulsion. So the key thing here we're talking about is emulsion. What is an emulsion? Does anybody know what an emulsion is? No? I'll go with this, the simplest way I can explain it. Emulsion is two things that usually don't come together, but with the third thing, it comes together. That thing is called an tensioactive ingredient or emulsifier or love. Two things come together. So basically, emulsion is that. So how do we do emulsion? Basically, what we need a few factors. Other things which is an emulsion that is not a ganache could be like mayonnaise. That's an emulsion. It's an emulsion between oil and egg. So we actually have a lot of emulsions in our daily life, which is that we don't know it's an emulsion. So this is an emulsion between chocolate and whatever fluid that you want. So what I'm doing right now today that's a bit different from what you've seen around is we're making a ganache intense. It's an initiative from our company that we started this new collective called Gourmandise Raisonnée, or reasonable sweets. What does that mean? So everybody know what a ganache is, right? And yes, you say a ganache is cream and chocolate. Done. But the problem is, most of the time, when you do a lot of cream, a lot of fat, a lot of butter, a lot of sugar, it doesn't really taste like what you're trying to, it tastes like what you're trying to do, but it doesn't taste its characteristics. Especially if you invest a lot in, like, for example, 70% chocolate. This is at retail is about 450 ringgit, I think. Yes, so that is a lot of investment. And if you do the normal, usually the normal ganache style, you are only getting, I'll give it 70% brand A, 70% Valrhona, normal ganache style, give to you an uneducated tester. I don't see the difference, it's the same thing. Why should I buy your product, right? So now I'll tell you why you should buy my product. So we are making what we call a ganache intense. What is different from our product, this particular formulation that's different from other people, is that we use predominantly milk. If some of you make ganache at home, and if you use milk, most of the time it won't set, it will just be fluid, right? Why we use milk? Because milk is not high in fat. It's very low. To be considered milk, I think it's about 3% fat, or even lower than that. Then you have skim milk, you have 0% low fat and all that. So it means, so we have that. We have cream. We have sugar. And we have pectin X58. Yeah, surprise, surprise. What is this? Can someone get me my pectin X58 bottle? Kat sebelah? Okay. Ada, mana? You bought the bottle in the freezer? Oh yeah, please. Okay, so we have this thing called pectin X58. What is pectin X58? Pectin X58, X58. So what is pectin? Does anybody know what pectin is? Do you know pectin? Yes. What's commonly used pectin? Oh, pandai. Yes, jam. When we make pectin, when we make jam, we use pectin. What? Sometimes we don't even add the pectin. The fruit content has pectin inside. So, for example, if you cook a lot of berries for a long period of time, or citrus fruits for a long period of time, it's going to jellify. So, pectin is a jellyfin. It's a jellifican. It jellifies. It sets, right? So because you don't have a lot of fat and butter, for example, you need the pectin to set it. And the X58 is actually a special pectin that reacts very well with calcic items. In this case, milk lah. Oat milk has a lot of calcium as well. Fortified soy milk also has a lot of calcium, so it works very well with calcium. There's all kinds of pectins that you can see. The common one is pectin, yellow pectin, or in in French is called pectin jaune. Pectin jaune is yellow pectin. I'm using X58. Hoy does not sell this yet, but in time. So there's also pectin, yellow pectin, NH pectin, pectin X58. These are the three common ones in the market lah. So where do you get pectin? Before you ask, yes, it's from fruits. It's from the peel of the citrus. That's where you get it from. You extract it from that. Okay. So this pectin and sugar is actually just to jellify, to set. And also you have to understand that these two products, you have to mix with the sugar. Why? Because you want to disperse the pectin later. If not, when you put it directly inside the liquid, it's gonna. So you want to add the sugar and the pectin together, and then my good friend Mr. Tiger is going to partially melt my chocolate inside the microwave. I use microwave before anybody says I don't use microwave. Microwave is bad for health lah, apalah. Some people do this. I don't think so lah. If you understand how the microwave works, it's just the vibration of the molecule. So the inside is vibrate. It's hotter. It goes outside. Will it kill me 20 years from now? I don't know, but I don't think so lah. Okay. But if you are a strong proponent of not using the microwave, I respect that. I have nothing against that at all. Oh, yes, please. Okay, so you take the cream. The cream that I'm using is 35% fat. What does that mean? Whipped cream lah. Anything that is lower than 35%, you cannot whip. That's all. Okay. I use the 35% fat. Over here in Hoy, we have all kinds of brand. You are spoiled for choice. You have Olivier, you have Lescure, you have Debic, you have what else? Macam-macam ada. Okay, all right. If you ask me which cream is best, because somebody is going to ask me this question, right? Yes, confirm. Well, I would say first things first when choosing cream, look at the fat content. If you want to whip cream, 35% is good. Is European cream better than Australian or New Zealand cream? This question I get a lot, and I will answer you. Is there a difference? Yes, there is. What's the difference? First of all, they come from different country. What's important to understand in this is the cow that give you the cream eat the different kind of grass. Okay, so the grass in New Zealand, like if you watch Lord of the Rings and all that, very green. So it has very high carotene. So when they eat, the milk is yellowish a bit. So there you go. The European one, the cream is slightly more pale, more cream color. So that's the first one. You can see already. If you whip your Anchor brand and all that, you can see it's a bit more yellow. Even the butter, you can see definitely straight away. So that's one of the big difference. One, the taste is different. Depends what you want to do. Okay, so what is best? Again, as a professional, I don't like to advocate this is the best. That's not the best. Buy this, Valrhona. Buy Valrhona. No, it's actually No, what I want to say is there's no such thing as best or not best. It just depends on what you want to use it for lah. That's all. Please, ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand. When you use product, you have to use product that makes sense. And what does it make sense in? What you're doing. Okay? If I wear my most expensive clothes and then I go to the Pasar Borong Selayang, is it possible? Yes. Would I do it? No. Purposeful usage lah. Why on earth would I do that? Right? So it means if I want to use Valrhona, very premium product, the thing is I don't use it for things that is like I don't use it to make chocolate decoration, for example. Why? Or I don't use it to make cookies for budak-budak sekolah canteen. Why? You know? So it depends. Purposeful usage lah. There's no, yeah, this the best, not the best, depends what you use. Some of you have businesses, right? Some of you work in businesses. Like, do you use just one type of chocolate? Miss? No. There's a few, though. You also, you don't use this one type of chocolate. Or anybody, you have different kinds. Why? Different purpose. That's all. Does it mean mine is better? Yes. But like, you know, depends lah. Depends what you want to use it for. Okay, so how do we do it? First we warm this up. So to activate pectin, it has to be about 80 degrees Celsius. But if you put your pectin at 85 degrees Celsius, it's gonna set. So what you would do, first of all, you gotta make sure that this works. Oh yes, it does. Very sharp, are you? Ladies and gentlemen, Tiger, very sharp. Alright. Okay, so everything is here. Now the most important thing to get into, for me, I would partially melt my chocolate first. Partially. It doesn't have to be melted completely. Okay? So I will start this thing at about 40 degrees Celsius. If you have a thermometer, use a thermometer. What kind of thermometer? I would use the probe thermometer, not the COVID one. Why? Because the COVID one is surface. It doesn't go inside. So I use my very nice thermometer. It's called the E-Bro. No, they don't sell it here. This is mine. But they do sell all kinds of thermometers. They have this one. They have the probe one as well. There's few. Okay. So I'm looking at this, and when you do that, you have to move your thermometer around. So it's about 42 degrees. Do you have a whisk? Can I have a hand whisk? At 42 degrees, I dump in my pectin and sugar, and I let it boil. Thank you, thank you. So once it boils, I'm going to start to emulsify it. Okay, so when you want to do a ganache, so I'm just mixing it so it comes together, yeah, not to aerate it. So once it boils, I'm going to put the ganache and emulsify it in about 3 parts, give or take. So if you look at the recipe, the amount of the chocolate is about 110 grams. The amount of the chocolate is about 315 grams. Everything else is less. So that's why I need to partially melt my chocolate. Okay, so when it's boiled, I stop. Thank you, Tiger. You're the best. All right. I will take my... Can we see? Oh, sini. Okay, situ. Nampak? Okay, cool. So I will take the first part and I put it in. Okay, so this one is a new method of doing things. A lot of people, what they do, they don't want to split the ganache. This is dangerous. You go to a school, they say don't split the ganache. Ganache is very bad, don't split. Okay, I'm going to split the ganache. Why? I want to start friction to get the good elasticity. This one they won't tell you how to do. They will always say put the chocolate in 3 parts, make sure it doesn't split, you know. No. Now the new way is you want to make sure, I will make sure that the chocolate is split. I will show you. You can see already starting to become grainy. Can you see? Oh, tak clear. Apa ni? Okay, so as I can focus on it. Can you see? That's my hand. Where? Is it here? See here? Can you see? It start to split, right? I'm just going to split it some more. So that means when you split means it's not enough liquid, that's all. So you're just going to add a bit more to get the tension. Alright. So once it starts to split, and then you see, when I talk split means the oil, the fat is going to go one side, the mass is going to go one side. Then you add some more. Second part. So to me it's very crucial to do this. As you can see, number one, I'm not using a whisk. Why am I not using a whisk? Because I don't need to aerate it lah. Why I don't aerate it? Okay. As you can see, the cookie that I'm doing is for room temperature. Means it's not in the fridge. So after a long period of time, what's going to happen is if there's a lot of air, there's a lot of bacteria as well. So your thing will spoil. So if you whisk things, you're going to add air inside. But if, for example, I'm doing a ganache for, now you can see it's really split. Oh, look at that. Oh, Lord help me. Okay, then I'm going to put everything else. Okay. Then I'm just going to start in the center. As you can see now, just now it was split. It's starting to come together. Can you see? Right? Starting to be more elastic. Kan? I know what I'm talking about. Percaya lah. Okay, so as you can see, it goes like that. Now it's actually a ganache. It has the surface tension and then it's just going to stay that way. So that's what I mean. There's no need to, you in the initial part, you need to make sure it splits a bit, and then you just add, emulsify, you know. This is the new way lah, right? And then the next thing is, once I get it emulsified nicely, sort of, I'm going to ask for help from my friend. My friend is called an immersion blender. We sell an immersion blender over here. Where's the immersion blender that Hoy sells? Okay. Alright, so this is what we call an immersion blender or stick blender. Downstairs they sell a brand from Kenwood. Okay, I use Kenwood because they sell Kenwood. Is Kenwood good or bad? Hey, Kenwood good. Yeah. Of course it's good. What are you talking about? So you have an immersion blender. The immersion blender will help to make a better emulsion. That's all. And okay, if you're gonna emulsify here, some people they like to blend like this direct. So what can happen is there's gonna be a lot of air incorporation lah. So what I would usually do, I'll get a jug. Tak ada? Okay, tak apa. Okay, thank you guys. No, it's okay. Yes, Tiger, go ahead, get the jug. So why I use a jug is because I want to make sure I'm minimizing the incorporation inside. That's all. That's the only particular thing. Okay. Again, this is good brand, Kenwood. But for me personally, sometimes you get something like that with the hole. For immersion, actually, I prefer this lah. Why? Because the can come out. This one doesn't have, but also bagus. Betul. So yes. Also, this one has a high watt. It's 800 watt. What does that mean? Means it's strong and it doesn't overheat and stops. So if you use it, yes. Oh, yes. Why I use milk? Why? Because Gomandis raisonné means less fat. Cream has high fat. Okay, so while he's taking the jug. I'll explain. Why is it important, this gourmandise resonate? Okay, you know, nowadays there's a lot of trend, everybody going vegan lah, keto lah, no sugar lah, whatever lah, you know. So again, I'm not a medical health professional, I cannot advise you on these things, but what I can say is, if the thing does not need so much fat, then we don't put a lot of fat lah, right? Oh, see, another educated question. I will answer you educatingly as well. I need, if you look at the recipe, it says here milk 150 gram and cream is 100 gram. Before it used to be about 250 gram cream. I want to take out X amount of fat lah, not all of it, you know. I still need some. So that's why there's cream and milk. And why this particular amount? Well, personally, it's because it has been tested by our team. So all of the recipes that I'm using is the one that has been developed by what we call École Valrhona in Tanamitage. It's where my bosses are, you know. So what they do, we have a team that have been testing which ratio is the best, and so far they found that this is the best one lah. Means it gives you the decent amount of fat and it doesn't split and it's strong enough. And if you can see, usually at this is at room temperature, it's already set. You know, it's not fluid. That's because of emulsion is done properly. Thank you. And also because the fat ratio is correct. And one thing that I want to surprise everyone is with this is the fact that this product, this ganache, sebenar-benarnya goes very well in room temperature. That's what it's all about. Why? Can there. Oh, so good. Dia memang terbaik. Hoi, let me tell you something about Hoi. Hoi is good. Okay. What? Memang lah. That's why they take care of you, so you know. So now I'm emulsifying it. So as you can see now, the emulsified one is become more emulsified and thick, right? Okay. Okay. So from here, as you can see, the emulsified bit is nice and thick, right? Okay. This is a slow sec pectin, means it takes time. You actually cannot use it straight away. You have to let it crystallize overnight, 24 hours at room temperature. Okay, not Malaysian room temperature, yeah. Okay, I have to clarify this because I had this issue with my team in France. Malaysian room temperature is 30 degrees. All right. Malaysian room temperature in a mall is about 27, 26, 25. Malaysian room temperature in an office is about 12 degrees, I think. It's very, very cold. So, I'm talking, mak siapa? Mak saya. Dia dekat rumah. So, Malaysian room temperature 20 degrees like that is good lah. Then you're gonna tell me, Chef, I cannot switch on the aircon all the time, what? My business is not big. What do? I say, invest in a wine box. What is a wine box? You know, when you buy wine, I don't know. Wine chiller. So wine chiller is about, I think if you buy on Shopee, I think it's about less than 300 ringgit, I think. It's just basically a low-powered chiller lah. It just, the temperature of that thing goes up to about 16 degrees, 17 degrees like that. It's not very cold. but it's cold enough to put your chocolate ganache inside. So if you do a lot of preparation with ganache, you buy a wine cooler, yes, wine box, then you just put it there. Then you can switch off your aircon lah. That's what I will always advocate. Then it keeps it crystallized. So because let me show you, yeah. In Hoi, they gave me the the freedom of they leave the aircon, but this is for an event, so boleh lah. But if you go around, and then if you, for example, have a house and you have online business, for example, I cannot switch on my aircon all the time, you know. So buy the wine chiller. Okay. So when you leave it overnight, it should be like outside. It should be like pipeable. Definitely pipeable. For some of you who work in restaurants with who's selling wine, just put it in the wine room. Done. No. Given that you have a very good sommelier lah, the one that cares about his wines, yes. If you don't have pectin, you cannot make this formulation. No. But we have other formulations as well. Okay, so I have answers to your questions. We have formulations as well. Formulation in this case means there are ganache that does not use pectin. Just the problem is that the purity of the chocolate is a bit diluted lah. Means not bad, but not as strong. That's all. And pectin is not a very hard thing to get. You can get it if they will buy. Yes. Does not work that way, no, because the strength is different. X58 is for ganache. You don't have to necessarily get it from Sosa, but please do. You can get it from other brands as well. Louis François has it. You can get. It's not a very difficult thing to get. So, and nowadays with online shopping, definitely can. So, any questions about the ganache? Yes, no, maybe, no, no, no. Going once, going twice. Done. Okay, how long can it last at room temperature, aircon room temperature? About 3 to 5 days, definitely, no problem. Okay, given that the emulsion is done properly. Remember, given that the emulsion is done properly. Okay, so Mr. Tiger is going to take out the cookie just now. Yeah. So what am I going to do? As you can see, he even took the liberty of cutting it for me as well. So, this is a mold, silicone mold. Okay, I use this mold because of this thing. So it will have an enclave. Nice. But if you say bentuk dia pun ada lah. The shape also looks like a fave chocolate pellet. Alright. So what was I going to take? Oh, right. Can you get the other one, the one that I use for the financier, so it's just for them to see. Okay. So over here, I think they sell this in Hoi because I got it from Hoi. Whether they have stock or not, I'm not sure. Have stock. How much? I don't know. It's the answer. So this one has an enclave and hole. So what I do, the 1cm one, I just put it here like that. Just like this. See? Just like that. And then I bake it. When it bakes, it's going to go down a bit. Then it's going to have that shape. Yes, you see. So what's going to happen is, it's going to turn out like, where's my empty already baked one? In the end, it'll end up like this. Can see? Why are you chasing me? Okay. You see? It's going to end up like this with the hole. If you look closely, the biscuit is aerated because of the baking soda. And it's light. So I'm going to pass this around and you can see how light it is. Just don't eat it lah after everybody has touched it. Just don't do that. Seringan je. Oh. So we also can bake it in this. Why? It has the same, but the hole is a bit smaller lah. Okay. So when you put it here, I'm gonna pass it to Chef Tiger over there. He's gonna bake it. How long do we bake it for? Well, I would bake it for about 12 to 15 minutes, depending. Then you're gonna ask me what? Letak je lah, masuk satu-satu and then bake. Well, depending on what? Depending on a few factors. Number one, it depends on the size of the oven, the strength of the oven, what type of the oven. So first question I ask you, is it a fan one or is it a deck one? What does that mean? Deck means no fan. Done. Okay. Second one, does it matter if it's electric or gas? No. It only matters the temperature, how long it's then. So the first one, fan. If fan, 12 to 15, enough. If deck, means you add a bit longer time because it takes a longer time to bake. Why? The fan regulates the heat, so it cooks faster. Is it better to use fan or deck? I am not a proponent of each unless when you're talking about bread. If you talk about bread, then if you want a crust, yes, please use a deck oven. If you're talking about viennoiserie or croissant, all that, you can use a fan oven, doesn't matter. If you talk about most pastry products, sponge and all that, I use fan. But for the more classic sponges like the Taiwanese style, the Hong Kong style, they use deck because they want to bake it slower. Some people even use a wooden frame to make sure it doesn't get too hot. Depends what you want to use. So I don't say which one is better, I just say it depends on what you have. And then the next one is just, does the fan oven keringkan the product more? Very good question. The answer is not really. Any oven will keringkan the product lah. It just depends. No, really. It just depends on the time. That's all. Okay, so please. I have a bit of time, so I can explain. After you can just melt the chocolate. Yeah. So when you talk about fan oven or deck oven, the fan oven has a fan, so the fan regulates the heat. When the fan regulates the heat, means there's constant heat that is blanketing the thing. So that means the thing will rise faster, but it also can burn faster and it also can dry faster. That's all. So when you talk about a deck oven, means it's just slowly the heat comes from the top and the bottom, sometimes at the back or at the walls, but that's it. There's nothing regulating it. So to answer your question, all ovens do that. The fan just expedites the process. Does it answer your question? Perfect. So I will take these cookies like this, right? Right, and I will take my ganache. Yeah, thank you. So I will take my ganache. Yeah. I will use what I have first. Okay, again for this ganache, if you do it properly, you don't need to leave it in the fridge. It's actually, it'll just be fine at room temperature. But I think somebody accidentally put it in the fridge because I feel it's a bit cold. But it's okay. My hand is warm. So's my heart. So, okay. So as we go forward, okay, I like to do this with my stuff. People find me weird. I just like a clean bag. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. Okay. I cut it. Just par melt, yeah. Par melt. Okay, and then I'm gonna pipe it inside like this. Oh, need a bigger hole. You know, the breathing is a bit scaring me a bit, eh? Can you hear my breathing? It's a bit scary, eh? Honestly. Okay. So I'll just pipe without breathing. Okay, so you just pipe, just keep piping it. So as you can see, it looks like worms. Because the ganache was a bit cold, it's fine. Okay, so at this point, this can clear, after can clear this. At this point, actually, as you can see, there's the ganache there, right? If you're making like travel cake, some of you make travel cake or muffin ke apa ke kan, you want a ganache inside, and you want to be a bit more exciting, you can put the nuts or whatever you want before you dip it. Also can. It's actually quite common. Or if you want, for example, you can put like a, like if I was to take a nut. Dah, cun. Perfect. Okay. Oh my goodness, this breathing thing is scaring me. I feel like Darth Vader a bit. Okay. So for example, before also I can put the nuts inside. Right? And then I dip. So can, up to you. For me, what kind of nuts? I have hazelnut because hazelnut chocolate. That's why. Can I put peanut? No. Why? It doesn't make sense. Yes, that's why. Thank you. Everybody's understanding me. This is great. So I don't put peanuts because it doesn't make sense. And peanuts is very, very strong. You know, very prominent taste. So anything with peanuts, usually you can taste the peanuts. Okay, just a side note while I'm waiting for my chocolate. Everything that's very strong, you want to be very mindful of whenever you pair it with your chocolates. Yeah? Meaning, so for example, anything with honey will taste like honey. If that thing that you want to achieve, you don't want honey taste, don't put. Alright? Or if anything tastes like coffee, don't put, because you will taste the coffee straight away, especially if it doesn't make sense. So please bear in mind that. Okay, so now, before I dip it, I'm going to temper it. What is tempering chocolate? I got another half an hour before I let you guys go. What is tempering chocolate? Tempering chocolate means crystallize. Oh, it's very interesting answer. Some more, tempering chocolate. You, sir, at the back, what is tempering chocolate? No? Smiling? Great. Well, correct. Tempering chocolate is crystallizing and all that. But to be more relatable, tempering chocolate means you want to change the shape. For what reason? Usually. Because all chocolates, Couverture chocolate that comes to you, already tempered. Sebenar-benarnya lah. Already tempered. So if you want to change its shape, change its form, you temper it. While maintaining, remember there's a caveat, while maintaining the chocolate quality that you are looking for. What is a good quality chocolate? Valrhona. Also, what a good quality chocolate is, it's shiny, it breaks, and then it's not waxy, and it's, do you know how to eat chocolate? I never taught you this. Do you know how to eat chocolate? No? Put it in your mouth. No. Actually, the more educated, atas way of eating chocolate is this. You take the chocolate, whatever you want, put inside your mouth, and then you just brush your tongue on the ceiling of your mouth with the chocolate like that. And then you breathe. Of course, you will breathe in the meantime, but like, you know, when you do that, it'll be more intense lah. That's how you actually taste chocolate. Okay? So when you want to make a selection of chocolate later, when you go outside, you try. You take my tip lah, put inside your mouth. And first of all, the chocolate cannot be cold lah. It has to be room temperature. Malaysian room temperature also can, but like it has to be at room temperature. If it's cold, it'll take a longer time. You're gonna get bored and you're just gonna telan the thing. Then you're not gonna taste anything. Okay, so how do you temper chocolate? There's many ways. Tabling, melt the whole thing. Take 2/3, put it on the table to cool it down, preferably a marble, and then put back inside with the warm part. One way. Another way is seeding, which is just you melt, and it comes to what you want, use. But the thing with seeding is sometimes if it will only apply if the chocolate that you want to seed is already tempered lah. Means if someone of your staff already split lah, whatever, marble already, or what do you call that, bloomed already, then you have to retemper lah. You can retemper by table, you can retemper by seeding, you can retemper by bain-marie. I don't advise too much bain-marie because water will go inside. Once the water go inside, it's not going to come out. So what it means is chocolate usually has sugar inside, and sugar is very hygroscopic, so it means it will bind to water. So when it binds to water, it will extract the sugar from the chocolate, and that's when you get the streaks and you actually taste the sugar crystal inside. Means the water went inside. That's what it means. So water not a good friend of chocolate for tempering, because you're gonna go online, you're gonna see recipes that has water ganache and all that. It's not wrong, for tempering, no. So I take my nice thermometer, I check. Okay, before anybody, this one is the method that we use in the Valrhona school is usually similar. We try not to table it because number one, you are changing the shape. Sometimes you're not very good at it, and it will run off the temperature and the crystals are not aligned. So what do? We use our microwave, we melt. Right now my temperature of the chocolate is about 28 degrees. Okay, so when you talk about chocolate, right, they always say if you temper, bring to 50, go down to 28, go up to 32 for dark, bring to 49, go down to 27, go up to 30 for milk and white, right? Actually, if your chocolate is kept well, if you bring down to 34, it's okay already. You don't need to like go up, down, up. Yeah. To bring down 34, can pakai already. So how I would do it, most of the time, I would just temper it by the microwave. And if I am doing some work, I put inside microwave and I leave it in the microwave, not start. So the heat will just slowly melt the chocolate. It's okay. I don't necessarily need to bring up, bring down, bring home. No need. I just like that. So that's what I would usually advocate lah. Like now it was 28 degrees. I take out. That was less than 7 seconds, I think. And I mix. So that's how I would temper chocolate all the time. If I want to make sure that it doesn't run off, I just leave it inside the microwave. That's all. I don't start. Just leave it there. So a lot of us, especially in Valrhona, what we do, if you want to temper chocolate, we'll put it in the microwave about 10-20 seconds like that at 50 watts. And this one you cannot really set lah. And stop, and then you just do your thing, whatever, and then it will just slowly melt. Or if you're in a rush, or doing a demo in front of 100 people, you cannot do that. So for me, you can use the microwave to help you. So just now was 28 degrees. I check now, it's a bit more fluid. It should be higher. Now it's about 29 degrees. Can you see? Cannot. Oh man, this is a pain, huh? Can? Oh, sorry. Can you see it's 29? Yeah, okay, it's 29. So I will just keep that. Now it's about 29 degrees. Again, still a bit more hard. So it's okay. I put back, microwave. It's just that the few things that you need to know about microwave is, if you have a microwave like this, do you sell it in Hawaii? Do you sell microwave? Do you sell microwave? Yes, they also sell in Hawaii. Okay. Usually medium or medium high lah. Okay, nothing higher than that. Yeah, okay. Okay. Especially for milk chocolate, not too strong the heat. Okay. So now it's becoming more fluid. I think now it's about 30 maybe. So actually, it's coming to what I want, sort of. And I'm not tabling it. Up to you. You know. But you can. I'm not against tabling. I think tabling is a great method. It's just that for some of you, especially the ones with the business, usually you have business, you have staff. You have staff, you teach your staff. Sometimes your staff not good. Actually, most times. So when most time they're not good, then you have to make sure they don't make mistake. So if you don't want to make mistake, how? Very easy. Two ways. Temperature and time. The only way. Because my 28 degrees and your 28 degrees, same. My like this, and your like this, not same. This is a fact. So you tell your staff, bake at 180 degrees, 15 minutes. It's clear. Don't like bake 180 and then you see if it's brownish a bit on the top. Don't do this. Why? If you do this, they will make mistake because they are brown, you're brown, not the same. So that's what I mean. Temperature and time, always accurate. Cannot lari. Especially if you have a thermometer that you buy in Hawaii. That's good. You know? So that's what I mean. It's always about, making things as the process as simple as you can and as concise as you can, but as clear as you can, especially to your staff. So right now it's about 29:30. I'll just continue a bit more. And from there I will run it. If you have any questions about what temperature is suitable for my chocolate, for example, you want to temper it, just look at the back. It should tell you. Here. It will tell you what's the ideal temperature. And I'm not saying this because I'm Valrhona, which is the best, but any Couverture chocolate brand will tell you how to best use their bag. They will tell you. So just follow the bag, you know. Because if you follow the bag, usually you can't go wrong. So as you can see, the microwaving was just a very short time. My chocolate is a bit more fluid now. So as long as I don't go above 34 degrees Celsius, I'm okay. But if I go above, what do I do? Alamak, sudah lari. You just take one, you grade it, do the microplane, like this. They sell in Hawaii. They do. So just mix. Go down, pakai. If you put one fev inside, sometimes there's that big fev and it melts slow. So if you take and grate, it will be okay. All right. So now I check again my temperature of my chocolate. And as you can see, I'm always moving my thermometer. Like that. Why? Because I want to purata bacaan yang tepat. You know, oh, yes, average. Oh. Okay, so now the temperature of this is about 31 degrees. Okay, can use already. Okay, why? Because it's fresh chocolate. If I'm not sure, this is what the French people will do. What they do, I don't know whether they teach you in school. They teach you this in school. They will take like, they do like this. And then they go walk around. Just leave it there, check temper. And then they will come back. Okay, then can use, also can do that as an indicator. But this is only possible to do if the room is cold. Okay, if you do it in your kitchen at home, tunggulah sampai besok kan. It's not going to set kan. Okay, if it's like this temperature, can. Also, there's another indicator you want to see is you can see your spatula. If your spatula has like the set one, it means your chocolate is set. It's the crystal are still aligned. I'm okay. I might be oversimplifying the process. There is a more technical and scientific information detail to it, like because chocolate has 7 different crystals, the beta crystals and all that. So I don't want to put you to sleep. Honestly, just follow the direction. If you're very very scared, then you buy a tempering machine lah. Hope it works as well. All right. Okay. But again, very important tool to have. If I have to go do a demo tomorrow in Thailand and I can only bring 2 things, what will I bring? This one and the Kenwood blender. That's what I would bring. Very important. Immersion blender, thermometer. Cannot go wrong and can travel with every time. So as you can see now, dekatkan sikit. Nampak? Nampak? You see, it start to set already. Means it's temper. Done. I can use. See, it's simple. So that's why I said, when you're doing things like this, right, it's always important to just respect the process. Now I'm gonna dip. Okay, so how do I do it? I take the cookie. Can we focus on my hand? Nampak? Okay, so this is the cookie, right? This is the cookie. So I dip it like that. I take it up. Then so what I get, right? So I take that. I put here. Aduh, marah ke? So I take the one with the nuts. I dip. I take it out. I turn. It's just like that. Simple. And if I want to continue, which Chef Tiger is going to continue later, I take the nuts, I add, and then I take the sea salt, just a bit, yeah. Done. The chocolate's going to temper, it's going to set. If you want to try this later because you haven't tried, I have a lot outside. Alright, so again, I'll take the chocolate. I dip. I turn. I put. Every 4 or 5 cookies, I mix. If I want to be sure, I mix, I check temperature, I can put back in the microwave, come back. Done. So I just put again, just a bit more. Done. So basically, that's just how you do this Azalea Sabli. It's not very hard at all, right? And you can do it like all kinds of things. It doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be this kind of chocolate, but it has to be Valrhona. All right, so you understand what I mean? So from here, like as you can see now, it starts to set already. Can you see? Nampak? Don't show my G-Shock. But look at this. You see? It's already set. Very easy. Very, very easy. Okay? And then you're gonna tell me, how about if I cannot temper? I'm not very good at this, Asha, and I cannot teach people how to do it. Then there is an alternative to do this. I would say it's a bit of a glaze style. So you use chocolate 100%, and then you put 10% of grapeseed oil. Okay, and then you mix it together. Then you don't have to temper. This is about not hot. You can already dip and just use. But yes. Okay, the grapeseed oil, because grapeseed oil is the oil that does not have a very strong taste. Olive oil have a strong taste, especially if you use extra virgin, not married, all that. This strong taste. You know what I mean? So if you use like corn oil or sunflower, also can. But sometimes the color is a bit strong lah. Depends. 10%. It just means it helps with the crystallization, so it's no longer tempered chocolate lah. It doesn't have the same kind of bite. It will be more of a soft bite. Like if you try my stick one, the one with the thing, the chocolate doesn't break. It just melts. Because that's Eskimo glaze, we call it. So that means it's like for cake. It would hard on the surface. It's just that it won't clap. Tak ada lah, because there's oil inside already. But the process is simpler. Means you won't have to care so much about the what you call the temper. Because sometimes I understand tempering chocolate and handling it can be a bit intimidating. It's like, it's all lari. Oh, I have to put back. Oh, I don't have warmer. But the only thing is, if you use an Eskimo glaze, the thing about it is, it will not set hard. So if you're looking for a bite club tempered style, it's not gonna happen. So if you go outside later and you try my stick cake, the one with the coconut, it doesn't break. It just bites. It just provides a glaze like that looks like tempered chocolate, but it's not. Also can. Grape seed preferably, but yes, correct. You can melt together also can, no problem. But you will notice, the fluidity of the chocolate will be more. It'll be like very fluid. So the coat won't be as thick. Also, remember. Okay. I have 6 more minutes of your time. Glazing is nice. Yes, I agree. Wow, so nice and shiny. But nobody like to eat glaze. Believe me, especially the one that put, it's shiny, wow. But then you can peel the glaze off. Oh, this is not good. Why is it not good? Because the glaze is supposed to protect your cake. That's all. To protect your cake, not to peel it off. So I'm not an advocate to glazing a lot of things lah. I'm more an advocate to, and it's my responsibility to tell you that the world in our profession in Valrhona, we are moving out from synthetic taste. So you won't see anything that's white from us because titanium dioxide is banned in Europe. Tak boleh pakai. So when you see the shiny glaze, there's a lot of titanium dioxide inside. Why? Because the color bounce. Dia tak boleh masuk. So we work more towards a more natural thing. So if I want color, I use more fruits. Something like this. I won't use like spray green, like emerald. No. It's I will use the, if you see, like I said, I made 5 things there, the buffet, there's 5 things I made. I made the chocolate stick cake, I made this one, I made the raspberry opalis thingy, strawberry opalis. I made the mango financier, and I also made the drink. There's a drink there, you can try the drink. The drink is completely vegan. I use oat milk. It's also very quite interesting as well. So please try. So over there, so for me, it's like, it's our responsibility to explain that we care for our customers. So we are very much about gourmandise raisonné and purposeful usage. Means we want to make sure that we use things that make sense, number 1, and number 2, it's good for you. So I don't advocate too much, but I have nothing against it. It's very nice to look at the very ultra shiny cake. But you know, most of the time it's very deceiving. You think it looks nice, but it doesn't taste good. Our focus is a presentable thing, but the taste that keeps you coming back. That's why if you look at certain businesses, right, there's one nearby my house. They're very successful now. What they call? Oh yes, I think you're from there. Kenny Hill Bakers, right? You're from Kenny Hill Bakers. Are you from Kenny Hill Bakers? No, nobody's from here. Anyway, so the Kenny Hill Bakers, their things are okay. They look very rustic, but they're not extremely like wow. But the customers keep coming back because you want to eat nice food. The Instagram is good, but if you don't come back for what? You know. So yes, if you want more colors, I say add fruits. If you want shine, I have a product. It's called Absolute Crystal. They don't sell it here. It's actually a neutral glaze that you can use for so many things. All you can do is, if you want color, you just add a bit of color, you spray. If you want to make it to glaze people at 10%, you can glaze, also can, no problem. And you can freeze it. This is the beautiful thing about the Absolute Crystal. You can glaze and freeze, and defrost, it'll still be glazed. But when you glaze normal cake, you put it in the freezer, it come out matte. It doesn't come shiny anymore. So that's what I mean. So with that, I conclude my presentation for today. Is there any questions? No? Yes? Will the pectin overcook? No. It's thermo-reversible, if that is your question. Means when it's set, can you melt it down? Yes. But is it necessary to overcooking? Means you go high temperature for what reason? Janganlah. Did the boil stop? No, the thing is when it boils, stop straight away. No need to continue cooking because 85 to activate, 100 is already activated. Stop. No, but what it means is it's thermo-reversible, means you can melt it back lah. Means if it's set, you can melt it back. Can use, no problem. Pectin can do this, gelatin can do this, agar-agar cannot do this. Okay, yeah, correct. So thank you very much for your time. Please try. I have another session at 2
Okay,
PM.
Syahari dah ke?
Dah.
Hari ni saya punya kerja sangat senang, tak perlu banyak bercakap. Saya hari enjoy the class. Okay, so thank you guys for coming and join us. So, siapa yang ada petang nanti? Ada lagi? So, semua boleh bersurai dan nak ambil gambar pun boleh. Boleh sambung makan dekat luar. So, finish? Kita nak ambil gambar. Share the video. Okay, kita dah habis kelas, kita dah habis demo live semua. Korang boleh tengok tadi kan. So guys, siapa yang tak sempat untuk pagi, korang boleh join untuk sesi petang. Tapi kita punya resipi lain rasanya. So kalau nak dapatkan harga promo, korang boleh masuk website kita macam biasa, hoybaking.com. Lepas tu kalau korang nak walk in pun memang ada harga promotion, okey? Kenwood pun ada harga promo, Valrhona pun ada ada harga promo. Dan macam tadi kita mention, pembelian tak kisah sama ada Kenwood brand ataupun De Longin punya brand, kita akan you guys akan dapat lucky draw yang berharga, dia punya grand prize berharga RM999. So siapa tak sempat pagi boleh datang petang. So jangan lupa kita set time pukul 2 sampai pukul 5. So siapa ada nak datang pun boleh, ada masa lagi. So thank you untuk join live kita. Thank you yelah sentiasa support kita punya Foodtap kan. So daripada saya minta maaf kalau ada salah silap, ada kekurangan daripada segi teknikal ataupun you guys nak tanya soalan boleh baca, tinggalkan komen tau. Okay, itu saja daripada kami. Bye.